A severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned as we allow others to get on. We will be live with the latest in A severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned as we allow others to get on. We will be live shortly with the latest information. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T-Storm Chasers, ready to bring you the latest weather information as we are starting to watch some severe weather that's really going to impact your 4th of July plans. So we definitely want to get you prepared, get you guys broken down, and get things ready for you guys as you need to be weather aware as we are talking about a possible tornado outbreak. We're talking about damaging winds, damaging hail, and definitely some severe weather pushing through the area that we are going to be watching over the course of the next 48 hours. So we are definitely seeing some development. We're seeing things that are shaping up. We are seeing that this is going to be a large potential of seeing this damaging outlook. As we are going to jump in right away with the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. Sorry, I'm turning my phone up just to make sure that I have audio with you guys. Norman, Oklahoma has put this hatch area right above us right above us here in a 2 out of 5 for seeing some severe weather. Primary threat, though, going into tomorrow is not going to be the tornado risk for tomorrow. We're talking 4th of July is what we are looking at for that tornado risk coming into on that Tuesday. So we are seeing things really starting to shape up for that Tuesday where we are going to see that severe weather possibility of that tornado risk. Tomorrow's risk, though, is going to be that damaging winds and damaging hail for any of that area in yellow. Does include the Sioux Falls area, though, too. So we definitely need to take that into possibilities with that. Oops, used the wrong one. As we take a quick look at this slide here, we do see, again, it is a 2 out of 5. You can see as we do zoom in there, our primary risk is going to be, Our primarily risk is going to be that large hail, strong winds, maybe a tornado or two is going to be possible. Definitely not too confident with that. Right now it does appear to be more of a damaging wind and hail event, but we definitely could see a spin up or two as we start to watch this system. You do see that Sioux Falls is at the very edge of this notch, so definitely going to be a possibility. However, I think that possibility is going to be into the overnight hours for the Sioux Falls area. Now, as we go into day 3, which this is where our concern is coming into day 3. Now, you can see that Sioux Falls is also in this risk as well, down Sioux City, Omaha, I-35 corridor up to Minneapolis and up to Duluth, Minnesota, all the way down into Denver, Colorado, and into Kansas and Nebraska area there. Now, they are in that yellow area there is in a 2 out of 5 risk. Now, we are going to see, again, that possibility of seeing some damaging winds, hail. And now, this is where our tornado is coming into a factor, is going to be tomorrow is going to be our greatest risk of seeing that is going to be tomorrow as we start to jump in. Let's take a closer look here. You can see basically it's east of the river there that we are seeing that risk coming into the area. Sioux Falls, Brookings, up to the Minneapolis, New Ulm, and down along that I-35 corridor following the I-29. Our threats are going to be all modes are possible. So again, we are going to be looking at that damaging winds. We're going to be looking at that damaging hail, and we're going to be looking at a possibly tornado outbreak. Nothing like Tornado Tuesday. Don't worry about that. We won't see that again So we are definitely taking this as a serious event and getting things prepared and ready just in case. Definitely going to be discussing this again more tomorrow, as well as we get into the actual event. Now, as we take a quick look at our severe weather risk probability, looking at our latest model runs, we're going to jump into that here real quick. As we do start to see on Monday there, we do see some light risk coming into the area there on Monday, right around that lunchtime hour. I know Mondays, a lot of you have to work. Some of you are fortunate and don't have to work. So we do see just northwest of the Pierre area there, we do see a better chance of seeing some of that severe weather risk. And that goes accordance with that map of seeing some of that as well. As we look at the Rapid City area there, we do have that risk of seeing some of that severe weather as well. This does move eastward again about that 12Z. So again, about overnight is what we are seeing coming across that I-29 corridor is what we are looking at. I know many of our followers are out camping and campers and stuff like that. So we definitely want to keep people weather aware over the course of the next 48 to 96 hours as we start to see this system come through. Now, as we go into Tuesday morning here, we are looking at that system that's going to rebuild and start to push through about that 6 o'clock time frame is what we are seeing. That'll quickly push off to the east and southeast and bring us our chance of decreasing into the overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. So our primary risk, though, is going to be on Tuesday night is what we are watching with this system. We'll definitely jump into some models here. That's going to take it hour by hour and definitely show us what we are looking at as well. Now, as we jump into Monday, let's back this up just a little bit. We're going to bounce this on to Monday here. As we do continue to put the model into play there, you can see this severe cell that is moving into the North Dakota, South Dakota border there, Billings, Montana area, where we are going to see that severe weather risk come Monday. You can see that this model keeps that severe risk up into the North Dakota area a little more, coming into South Dakota right around that 00 Zulu. So we're looking about that 6 p.m. time frame is what we are seeing with that. Then we do start to see the stronger cells start to develop north of the Pierre, between the Pierre and North Dakota border there. We are seeing those stronger indications of severe weather on the NOM indicator as well. Then as we go into Tuesday morning, we do see another severe cell that is starting to generate as well. And that's going to move eastward, southeastward, and bring us our chance into the eastern portions of South Dakota of seeing some of this severe weather. Now, as we go in, now we're looking at right about that 15 Zulu. So 15 Zulu minus 6 is going to be right around that 9-10 o'clock time frame in the morning. That will die down just a little bit, come about that 21 Zulu. We do see that severe weather risk stick around between the 21 Zulu and 00 Zulu. So that is going to be right around that 3 to 6 o'clock time frame. We do see that it's putting it right over the Sioux Falls area, about that 00 Zulu. So about that 6 o'clock time frame is what we are seeing. That'll start to slide eastward, come to 03, 06. That is still sticking around and finally out of the area. Now, the good news is, though, we aren't looking much of that severe weather for Wednesday coming into the Sioux Falls area. However, portions of Iowa and Nebraska or Minnesota and into Wisconsin are seeing that severe weather risk coming into Wednesday. So we are watching that probability as well. So those of you that do live in the Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin area definitely are seeing that risk of severe weather. Now let's jump over to our WSV3 map, and let me get that back up on my side. As we take a look at our latest model here, we'll put things into play here for today. As we go through the day today, we are seeing just a little bit of a slight chance of some development, but that is dying off quickly. Now, as we go into the third here, so Monday morning there, we start to see the development on the western portions of South Dakota. Again, moving westward or eastward, about that 2:30 hitting the river. And then that is starting to see where that development's going to be, about that 5 o'clock time frame, just south of the Aberdeen and east of the Pier area there, just west of Redfield, north of Chamberlain there, we can see some of that severe weather risk starting to develop as well. Moving into the Huron area there, about that 7:15 time frame, we do see that stronger indication of a cell just west of Huron there, about I want to say that's Westington Springs maybe, area there as well. Yeah, just to the west of Westington Springs, that we are seeing that stronger indication just to the east of the Miller area along that Highway 14 is what we are seeing. As we go into the next hour here, about that 8 o'clock time frame, you can definitely see things. Some isolated chances are definitely building here coming into the overnight hours. And this is kind of what our fear was, is that we're going to see these start to develop in the overnight hours and bring us our chances. One thing to keep in mind, too, that we are seeing with this system is right here is that bow echo that we are seeing right through this area here with that. So as we do continue to progress this here, you can see this is shifting in more of a southeasterly, easterly direction there as well. However, keep in mind, back here is where that severe threat of seeing some severe weather is going to be. Right now, this latest model is kind of suggesting more of a rain system coming into the overnight hours. But again, as you can see with this, right through here, we have that bow echo. As that bow echo is an indication of some wind that's going to be pushing through about that 5:30 in the morning on July 4th. So we are definitely seeing that potential of seeing some severe weather. Excuse me. So as we go into now the next couple hours here, we do see that shift eastward as well coming into the morning hours. Then we do expect some daytime clearing, and then we're going to watch some areas for some redevelopment. Right through there is where our greatest concern of seeing that redevelopment throughout the day is going to be. So as we jump into throughout the day, we're going to have that severe isolated risk throughout the day. Nice thing is, though, these models update almost every hour, so we do expect to see some updates. So definitely stay tuned with T Storm Chasers. We'll continue to watch that system as we come into that. Now we're going to jump over to our pivotal system, a different look at this. Now this is going to be a supercell indication, which is going to indicate that severe weather risk. If I can get it to load. There it goes. Sorry here, just a quick little technical glitch with that. I get click happy and then it starts to crash on me here. See if I can do it a different way real quick. Give me just a quick brief second here. I'm getting this fixed and I do apologize. Joys of a live shot, right? I did have everything set up in my defense, and then things decided not to work the way that we wanted them to. So, we are really flying by the seat of our pants right this second. So, real quick, I want to jump into this here. Severe thunderstorm criteria. As this is loading, I will continue and kind of work on things on my side. But severe thunderstorm criteria, 1 inch in the diameter or greater of that hail, winds 58 miles per hour or stronger in a tornado. As we take a look at the latest forecast from the National Weather Service out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota here, we are seeing that they do put us out of that 2 out of 5 just for the area there in yellow. Now, their primary threat they put as that hail and damaging winds and heavy rain. Now, as we go into tomorrow, again, that area in yellow is where the Sioux Falls area is. Hail, damaging winds, and unfortunately, because of our sponsorship sign there, isolated tornadoes and heavy rains as well is also going to be a possibility with this as well. All right, now that we got this up, we can kind of look at our supercell probability here as we go through the day on Monday. You can see that it's keeping that on that western portions of South Dakota. And then about that evening time frame there, we do see that it's starting to come into the river area. Now, as we take a look at some of the soundings on this as well, that is loading. It'll tell us our severe threat is going to be a marginal risk here of seeing some of that severe threat with that. Now, as we go into the overnight hours, that threat is going to decrease. And then again, as we come into Tuesday, so your 4th of July, now the GFS keeps this right along the South Dakota-Nebraska border, putting right just south of the Yankton area. It looks under a risk as well. And as we get this to load, it does put us in a marginal tornado risk. So definitely something we are going to keep a close eye on with that. Now, as we go into right about your fireworks time, it shifts further south and puts like the I-29 corridor basically in the southern portions of southeast South Dakota, extreme southern portions, and a little bit of a risk. But more of the Iowa and Nebraska area there is going to see that risk as well. Now, as we go through the rest of the day, the rest of the week there, we're not seeing much more of a potential of seeing some severe weather, unfortunately, for us, because we do definitely need the moisture. That is why I'm saying the unfortunate. We don't need that damaging aspect, though, of it. And then as we go through the rest of next week, is looking into next week as well, we do start to watch just a little bit of a development possibility right along the South Dakota-Nebraska border there on Tuesday. Now, this has been something we have been watching on the back burner, kind of, is this system. We have seen a great potential of seeing this occur. Models have been really all over the place, but as far as consistency, they have definitely suggested that this is an event that's going to occur. So take it with kind of a grain of salt. We are just a little over a week out on this, so definitely expect some model changes with this, because we are Tuesday of next week is what we are looking at. Not Tuesday the 4th, but Tuesday the 11th is what we are looking at with this one. Now, real quick, as we take a quick look at your temperature outlook, let's take a quick look at your temperature outlook. As we take a quick look at your temperature outlook for this time of year, for the middle of July, we're actually looking at below normal for this time of year is what we are looking at for the next 8 to 14 days, according to the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. Now, this is not a map that we put together. This is a map that is put out by the meteorologist down in Norman, Oklahoma at the Storm Prediction Center. Now, as we take a look at your precipitation outlook, they are suggesting that we are going to be leaning towards above normal for this time of year of precipitation, which is going to be definitely a good indication of seeing some moisture push through the area there in green, which does affect the Sioux Falls or South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska area. So to recap real quick, we are talking about two possibilities of seeing some severe weather pushing through the Dakotas into Minnesota. And we do have tomorrow the possibility of seeing some severe weather there in the yellow. Does include the Sioux Falls area. The damaging winds and hail is what's going to be the primary threat. There is a slight chance of seeing some of that tornado risk. As we take a quick look at that, there is just a slight chance of that tornado risk there in green, 2%. But one thing is kind of take this with a grain of salt, because Sioux Falls, when we had our 3 tornadoes go through there, we had that 2% risk as well. Does affect the Rapid City area with that tornado risk. As we kind of do zoom in there just a little bit closer, you can kind of see that risk as well. And then as we go into day 3, we are looking at that possibility of seeing some severe weather, with the primary threat being damaging winds and hail. However, we are still looking at the possibility of seeing some tornadic activity on Tuesday. So definitely going to be staying weather aware. We are definitely going to stay with you guys over the course of the next 48 hours, bringing you more live updates and bringing you more updates on this weather event as it starts to come into play and our models starting to come in agreement with each other. So remember, stay tuned with T Storm Chasers. We'll bring you the latest news, weather, and information as information comes across the wire. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great